Hey girl, we are at episode 48 of the show. I'm so happy to have you back here on a Monday. And today I'm sharing with you victim mentality. Are you a victim or a victor? Sister, I can't wait to dive into this one because, girl, we have got to stop with the victim mentality. You are strong. You're a mighty warrior. You are victorious and you have already won the battle. You've already won. So I want you to get out of your own head and I want you to start living into the truth, the belief that you deserve a better life, the belief that you deserve freedom from an eating disorder and disordered eating owning you. You aren't a victim, and it's time to stop acting as if you are. Friend, today's episode is going to touch your heart in all the right places, and it might just be a little zesty too. So hang with me. It's just for you, girl. Here we go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Hey sis, thanks so much for tuning back into the show. We are talking about a victim and a victor mentality. I hope today's show gets you pumped up for your freaking week because sister friend, you are not a victim, and it's time to stop relishing in that mindset. Victim mentality is the belief that you will always be this way. And the truth is, I struggled with this for a very long time, which kept me personally chained and trapped and so very fragile and in struggle of over and over toxicity that I was doing to my own body because of disordered eating behaviors and restriction. I never thought I would ever escape it. In fact, I had so much doubt that it was really hard to wake up every single day and try again. It was hard to open my eyes and feel like there was good out there in the world. It was so hard because I was in an anorexic bubble that I just could not pop. I couldn't get out of it. I felt chained. I literally felt chained to my own self, my own body, and to food. In every single way, the very thing that I wanted to control controlled me so dearly that it literally almost took my life. Something changed for me, and you can hear more about my story and the first episode. If you're new here, just keep listening because I share bits and pieces of my past throughout the podcast for it to help you, for it to bless you, for it to come into your heart, because maybe, friend, you're struggling with the same things right now. And if my struggle can create your strength, then that's why I'm here. That's why you're listening. So today I want to talk about victim mentality and how you can become the victorious woman that you are. Dictionary.com says that a victim is a person who is deceived or cheated by their own emotions. Sis, if that is not eating disorder, brain, and behavior written all over it, person who is deceived or cheated by their own emotions, your choices. Girl, you are not the victim of your current life. You are the product of your choices that have gotten you to this point, and you're not helpless. And choices have gotten you here, but the good news is that choices can get you out. You can lose the shame and you can transform the shame into true strength and true freedom. Ask me how I know. Victims blame and they make excuses, but the dictionary.com also says a victor is a person who defeats an enemy an opponent, they are a conqueror of the struggle. And sister, if you listen in today, I want you to know you are a mighty warrior. You are a conqueror of this struggle. It might not feel like you are right now, but I want you to envision yourself as a mighty warrior, armored up with all of the things in your little get up. You've got your shield, you've got everything, and you have your stake in the ground and you are ready to go. Sis, it's time. I'm calling on you. And for so long, I was trapped in my own mess because I didn't have a way out. I didn't know what to do next. But that was also an excuse that was leaving me chained and stuck. I was playing a victim because it felt better. It felt like if I blamed everyone else, like it really wasn't a problem, that everyone else was making it out to be, and that, oh, well, I just had dealt some bad cards and I had a really great life, but this is just what it takes to be how I want to be. It's not truth. Friend, shake yourself awake. Your choices have gotten you here, but you're not helpless. And I want you to know today that mental health issues aren't your fault, okay? So if you hear me loudly, this is not your fault. Choices, obsessions, your brain over and over and over doing the same things, creating these false beliefs based upon image and culture and what other people think of you and label you and trauma and past experiences, all of those things have led you to here. But guess what? You can choose. You can choose right now. You can choose today. Do you want to stay in a victim mentality, believing that this is all you're ever going to get and this is all you're ever going to be and this is who you are? Or do you want freedom? This episode might sting you a little bit because the truth is you cannot do great things without taking great risk. And I fully believe that I never would have experienced recovery from my eating disorder if I wasn't at flipping rock bottom on the bathroom floor, screaming to God to save my life, screaming to him, if you're truly real and you care about me, why me? And why is this happening? And why can't I just be free from it? But sis, victims blame and victims stay stuck because it's easier than to accept the truth and accept the reality that choices got us here. But when we can stand up and we can say, you know what, I don't know how hard this is going to be, but I'm not going to let it take one more day of my life. I'm not going to let it take one more hour of my life thinking about food and not being even present with my kids, thinking about food and not being able to enjoy it with my family while I have them here. Girl, you can choose. You can make choices. You can start making some of those today that are going to truly change your life. And today we're going to talk about 6 different things that you can choose right now. The first is choose your hard. You can wallow in victimhood, or you can make a decision to not be victimized, to not be a statistic. I'm telling you, there was like somebody just took a whack-a-mole and bopped me upside of the head when I was sitting in my doctor's office, just in complete denial that I was going there for a pap smear and I was leaving with organ failure. I didn't want to hear it. I wanted to sit and be in my little zone of pity party. But you know what? You can choose your hard. You can wallow in it like I was, or you can choose not to be a statistic. And I don't know what happened inside of me that day. And I did not know how I was going to make it out. All I know is I felt like a burning fire inside of my spirit that said, you are not a statistic. You were meant for so much more than this. This isn't how the story ends. Choose your hard. You can expect it to be hard, but you can choose your hard. Do you want to stay in the hard right now that you know so well that you're trying to escape from? Or do you want to choose the hard path forward that's going to take you out to the path of freedom? You can't expect to have victory when you are operating with a victim mentality. It just isn't going to happen. You can't sit with a false sense of belief that you want to change and you're willing to do whatever it takes when the reality of your choices are not doing whatever it takes. If you're constantly thinking, just take this away, like, God, like someone save me, like someone figure this out. I can't do this anymore. I'm so sick of this. Then you've come to the right place. It's time to choose your heart. The next thing to choose is your attitude. Sister, no matter how bad things seem, you have a choice. You can stay there or you can take control to get here. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You are allowing your attitude. You have a choice to completely redefine it, just like you have a choice to completely redefine and recreate who you are. Choose your attitude. Choose to forgive. Start with you. And I know that that can be extremely hard. It can be hard. I want you to start with your body. Maybe that's where your healing needs to start. Write a letter. Get alone. Get present, get real. The first place is to forgive you and what you've done to you and what you've allowed of you to do, maybe to others. I talk about this sometimes. I completely broke someone's heart when I was struggling with my eating disorder. And during that time, I could only see me. I was so trapped in a false sense of me and trying to escape from the pit of it all that I was taking everyone around me down. But I decided I wasn't going to be a victim anymore. I was going to stand up. I was going to choose my heart. And yes, it sucked. And I was going to choose my attitude. And every day wasn't gravy. Every day sometimes was hard and sometimes was okay. And sometimes was hard and sometimes was better. And then I chose to forgive. I chose to forgive myself for what I didn't know I was doing to myself while I was doing it. Sis, an eating disorder doesn't happen overnight. You don't wake up one day and decide that you're just never ever going to eat again and never ever eat again. It's little tiny bargaining choices that you make with yourself. Maybe it starts as losing 10 pounds. And then it starts with, wow, gosh, I did that. That was a false sense of satisfaction. Let me do some more. And it starts with, let me cut all of my salad dressings out. Let me cut my carbs. Now, can I get down to 0 calories a day? And I'm totally being sarcastic, not to make light of it, but it's never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough. But girl, you are enough. And it's time. It's time to choose your heart. It's time to choose your attitude. It's time to choose to forgive you. Because people turn to different coping mechanisms across our entire world. Some people turn to drugs. Some people turn to alcohol. You and I have turned to an eating disorder or disordered eating behaviors. And you are okay. This is not your fault. But I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to forgive yourself. Healing can only come after you let forgiveness in. So now what? After you've written your letter, after you're sorry, I want you to think about what you would say to that little girl. I want you to think about, what would you say to her? I'm sorry that you went through this stuff in life that led you down this path to make these choices. And I'm sorry you made these choices. And I'm sorry that we're here now, but here we are. Like, let it be, let it in, forgive, and let it go. Let it pass. And then the next thing I want you to choose is to own it. Girl, you're a boss. This is your one life. It's time to stand up and it's time to own it. I couldn't escape it until I faced it. You can't get better if you're going to keep being bitter. Sis, you have the blessing of choice. And I'm going to do an entire episode about how my eating disorder was one of the biggest blessings in my life. I can say that now because it's been 15 plus years, but I look back on it now. And I look back on it just to witness myself here and go, how did I get here? How did this completely transform my identity from this place to here? How am I able to enjoy ice cream with kids or to enjoy dinner out with friends or to have nachos like I did last night with my husband? Like, how am I able to do that? And sometimes that in itself is a flat out freaking miracle. But I will tell you that when I chose to own it, when I said, you know what, that served a purpose for a purpose, and it's okay that I'm struggling with this. This is temporary. I'm not always going to be this way. I may not know where I'm going, but I know who does know where I'm going. And I'm going to keep walking every single day, one foot in front of the other, even if it takes me for the rest of my life. This is your one life. How do you want to live it? The next thing is to choose to appreciate. It can be so hard when we sit in our stuff to think about anything good. In fact, the more negatively we think, the more negative we become, and the more trapped by Ed we actually are. But I want you to think about what your disordered eating behaviors and this unhealthy relationship with food has given you. What have you learned from this? How can you appreciate what's pushed you right here to where you are today? I say that my anorexia was one of the best things, and I don't mean it lightly. I don't mean it as if it was the most awesome experience of my life. That's not what I mean, so don't mishear what I'm saying. I mean it because I wouldn't be so strong as an individual. I was so codependent to an identity of what everyone else wanted me to be and thought I was. And if I wasn't first or perfect or the absolute shining star, if I didn't have the satisfaction of slashing calories and slashing pounds and measuring my sense of self-worth based upon a scale, then who was I? And I'm telling you what, when I was able to break it off and say, not today, no longer, step by step, day by day, every single day, and every single day after that, I was able to start appreciating what it did for me. I literally felt like I had a filter on top of my sunglasses, and I was starting to view life differently. I was starting to appreciate the people around me. I was starting to care about things that I had never even allowed myself to experience. For the first time, it was like living over again. Sis, I want that experience for you. I want that so badly for you. I found me. I found my best self. And now that I've found her, I won't let anyone take her away from me again. Lastly, you can choose to become the victor. You deserve good things. Only God can turn a mess into a message. And only God can turn a test into a testimony. And only He can turn a trial into a triumph and a victim into a victor. Sis, a victim says, I struggle with this eating disorder, and this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I eat. But a victor says, my past doesn't define me. I'm creating the best, healthiest, most fantastic, victorious new version of me. Anchor Recovery Ranch says it really well, and they talk all about differences between victors and victims. And victors see challenges as opportunities, but victims see them as evidence of a hard life. Victors look for hope in hopeless situations, and victims stay stuck in fear to those situations. Victors plan for the future. Victims worry about it every day in and day out, constantly revisiting the past. Ephesians 6:13 says, therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you've done everything, stand. If you need a battle plan, sis, I got you. I am your girl. I take private, personalized, one-on-one coaching clients, and I would love to hear your story. I'd love to help support you. If you're looking for some accountability because you're like, I'm done. I am done. I am making the choice. I'm making the choice today to surrender to what was so that I can experience what is yet to come. I want you to go on out to lindsaynichol.com and fill out an application and let's chat. But friend, the reality of this subject, it's empowering, it's uplifting. I want you to hear that from the bottom of my heart. I want you to get started with your day today, and I want you to feel like a straight victorious goddess that you already are. But the reality is, you're still gonna have to do life. And you're still going to be in this day and the present day, and it can still suck, and it can still be hard, and it can be rough. I want you to know you're not alone. I want you to know you're not alone. You're not alone, but you can choose your hard. It's going to be hard. I mean, think about how freaking hard this is, right? Could it get any harder? Maybe. Recovery is the hardest thing I've ever done. But at the same time, it has been the most amazing transformation of my life. I want you to make a choice today. I want you to choose to forgive yourself. If you do one thing from today's show, I want you to start with you. Sister, find a corner, find a coffee shop, find something that gives your spirit joy. Get present, get alone, take a notebook and pen, and write a letter to yourself. What do you need to forgive? What do you need to do to show up as the very best version of you today? And then the day after that, and then the day after that. Choose to own it. Choose to appreciate this exact moment and where you are. And then choose to become a victor. Sis, I can't do it for you. In fact, I tell my clients all the time, I wish I could do it for you, but then it wouldn't be yours. This wouldn't be your story. This wouldn't be your testimony and triumph. It wouldn't be your hard, and it wouldn't be true. It wouldn't be the real version of you if you didn't have to break it all apart to build it up. Sis, I see you. I see you struggling, and I just want you to know I love you. I want the best for you. Recovery is possible for you. And you can completely move from a victim mentality, believing you will always be this way. That simply is not true. Because you know how I know that? Because you haven't always been this way. You didn't show up here on this planet consumed with over-exercising and restricting food and doing all the things you're doing now. You didn't show up that way here. There's so much more for you. You're not done yet, but you can be done. Choosing the version of hard that's no longer serving you. Sis, it's time. It's time to choose your hard, choose your attitude, choose to forgive, choose to own it, choose to appreciate it, and choose to become the victor. I hope today's message has inspired you, and I hope that if you loved today's show, you will share it with a friend. You will go out to Apple Podcast and you will rate and review the show, because that's how more women can find us. And please come join us in our private Facebook community, where we are here to support you and share positive things that are going to keep you on track. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope that your day is filled with all the best things. And I hope that you decide today to stop struggling. I hope you show up for you, because you're not a victim, you're a victor. All right, girl, I will talk to you very soon. Have a blessed day. Until next time, bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show. And I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.